Brooke Eagle, and we are back with another episode of the Forsyth Mags podcast. And today I have a guest that I have been dying to get on the podcast for so long. I'm so excited she's here. We have Miss Ava Lain Vann, the owner and founder of Sunless Body. Hi, Ava.
Hi.
How are you?
So good. Excited to be here.
She's so beautiful. I'm glad we have our stuff on YouTube now so y'all can see her.
I just had to show up. I would have came in my pajamas, but I heard there was visuals involved, so I decided to put some clothes on for you.
Pajamas, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what we prefer.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Ava, so people who maybe don't know about your business, which I'm sure most people do, but tell us just a little bit about how you got started with this business.
Yeah, so Sunless Body is a UV-free custom spray tanning company. And how it really evolved is I started a mobile spray tanning business 13 years ago. So I used to have
that long?
That long, 13 years ago.
That's crazy.
It's really crazy. So I used to go service my clients in home. It was really intimate. It was fun. The overhead was low. That's how I got started. I got my feet in the door that way. And I've kind of just continued evolving since then.
And now you just opened your second location.
Second brick and mortar location.
And it is beautiful. Oh
so
my gosh.
sweet.
Both of them are.
Thank you.
I call them like the yin and the yang.
They are.
Because like one's light and bright and one's dark and moody.
We're just trying it out. We're just seeing what we like better. But yeah, they're both fun. I think they both represent, different stages in the business, and we're feeling what works and what we want to change. And it's been fun. Isabella from Theodore the Interior, she played a huge role in creating the space for our clients.
Well, and getting a spray tan, coming from someone who gets spray tans
You're a regular client
all the time, it's just like you were saying before we started recording, it enhances the beauty that you already have, and it just boosts my confidence so much. And I think that's like a great thing.
It's like the detail that is so small, but it makes the biggest impact.
Yeah.
Like you could try on an outfit without a tan, and all you're thinking in your head is, what would this look like if I had a tan?
Yeah.
So it's a small service, a fast service that makes a big impact.
Yeah, and you guys have really expanded as far as like all of the different things that you offer.
Yes,
which is impressive.
The industry is evolving. Yeah. So like that has allowed us to add and expand our menu as far as like different additives, contour, pH balancing spray. All of these things are new, and as we grow, they're coming out, and we're getting to incorporate them, and it's extremely beneficial for the client. So we're excited about that.
Yeah. If somebody's listening and they have never gotten a spray tan, what can they expect when they walk in Sunless Body?
Well, I want to start by saying there's nothing to be scared of. Spray tans have evolved. I know the first thing, and this is the most common reference that I hear, is everyone says, am I going to look like Ross from Friends? That is the most common thing. And I'm like, that is a thing of the past. Orange spray tans are a thing of the past. They have evolved. Don't be scared. But what I would want to put emphasis on is that we have a safe space, and your comfort comes even before the tan. So you can expect to have a safe place to come, and we will walk you through everything. It is very customized. It is tailored for you as an individual, your skin tone, your skin type, and we're going to get you a tan in a way that's suited for you.
Yeah. Yeah, people ask me that a lot because they're like, well, I don't want to be like too dark or too light.
It's the biggest fear.
Yeah, and I'm like you literally get to choose what they don't have just one. They have a ton of different options.
We're custom mixing it, but I understand the fear associated with it because there's a lot of stigmas with spray tans, and being orange is the biggest stigma associated with spray tans, and everyone's scared of it. And granted, because they've all had bad experiences.
Oh yeah, I have traumatic memories from middle school where I like experimented with some self tanner.
I will say that when I look back on our work 13 years ago, I thought we were just killing it. It was the best. I couldn't believe it. And I look back and say, wow, that was so bad. Our spray tans 13 years ago were so awful.
But everybody's probably were.
Everyone's were. But at the time, we thought it was great. So that just shows how the industry is evolving, and they're getting more and more natural and less detectable.
Yeah, I love that. And they last. Like if you take care of it, and by take care of it, I mean, when you shower, you're patting dry with a towel, you're keeping your skin moisturized, all that good stuff. It can last for well over a week in my experience.
It can. And I always say, spray tanning is a lifestyle, and it does take a lot of work, and it is high maintenance, but you're preserving your skin. Yeah. So it's worth it.
Yeah, and coming from somebody who went to the tanning bed quite a bit.
We all did.
As a teenager, it's a game changer.
We all did, but I will say that this generation, so I'm 32, and the girls coming in now, they're not like us. They're not in the tanning bed. They're scared.
Thank God.
The message is clear to them. they're getting the message that it's dangerous. They're not willing to risk it. They're investing in their skincare at like age 14.
Oh my gosh.
So
different times.
They're going to be
sure.
the best looking generation. That's what I'm confident
They're going to
in.
be like, they're not going to age if
they're
not going to the tanning bed.
I'm certain of it. I'm already like, you're 14 and you're like doing your skincare. Wow, I'm so proud of you. And you're in here getting a spray tan for prom. You're not going to the tanning bed. So,
oh, that's awesome. Because I think we talked about this briefly, but skin cancer is still one of the most prominent.
The most common skin cancer is the most common cancer in the USA. And the leading cause of that cancer is sun exposure and UV tanning.
Yeah.
So that alone lets you know there's a need, there's a problem. That motivates us every day to push awareness, to keep, offering a healthier alternative to the sun.
Yeah.
So that's our mission right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And we're actually doing a little sip and spray.
We are
Is that
December
what we're calling
18th.
it?
A sip and spray, sunless sip and spray, December 18th.
Yeah.
And what I'm really excited about is that's going to be benefiting the Skin Cancer Foundation. So we've always been in alignment and wanted to have preferred partners that we can get back to the mission that drives our business. And so we're not only about making money from this business and this cause, we want to get back to research that's going to benefit it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know you are very good about staying educated and staying, with the industry. What are some things that you've noticed that have changed recently, that are changing with the sunless tanning industry?
Yeah, so one thing I noticed is that there's more sunless companies popping up.
Yeah.
And a lot of people talk about competition and they're like, oh my God, there's so many. Me as a business owner that started 13 years ago in this industry, I just get so excited about it. I don't see competition that way. I think, wow, there's enough people that need to be served in this space that there's more businesses popping up.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that I see. It's evolving, it's growing. There's more sunless tanning companies. We used to be like, one of one here in North Carolina. And now there's endless options. And for me, I get excited about that. So that's what I would say is changing the most, is the expansion of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I love your view on competition.
I talk about it all the time.
There's enough for everybody.
There's enough for everyone. And you know what? You should get excited when there's competition, because it lets them receive an experience over here and come to you. And where do you set the bar for your client?
Yeah.
So I always encourage people, try other places. I love it. I want to support them in any way that I can. I don't see them as an opposition. I just think it's great.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So speaking kind of a little bit of that, I want to talk about a conversation that you and I had recently.
Oh, yeah.
About business owners, and something that we both have seen business owners do a lot lately.
Yes.
As far as affecting their client experience.
For sure.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, I just think, and I feel passionately about this, and that's why it came up in conversation, but I think that as a business owner, you are making the conscious choice to take on hardships. And although I think it's okay to share it with people and say, I'm having a really hard time, I think right now it's kind of trendy to get on there and cry and talk about your struggles. And, it really affects your client's experience, because it's creating a level of guilt for them to come spend money with you. And I feel like as a business owner, it's my job to protect my clients from my hardships, because this is my entrepreneurial journey. I chose this, and I do not feel right projecting that on my client. When you go in Louis Vuitton, do you feel that they're back in the back room fighting and they've got rent to pay? No. You have a seamless experience, and that's what we're really trying to create for our clients. So I would just really encourage any business owners that are struggling to confide in each other. Let's build a community and express that with each other, and stop putting it on social media. Stop making your clients feel it. Stop guilting them, because you are robbing them of an experience that they're spending money on.
And you're probably going through some of the same stuff.
100%.
So if you're collaborating, then you, or at least group supporting,
100%.
then you can find, maybe you didn't think of this solution, but someone else did.
100%. And keeping it private. I'm not saying don't share it. I'm saying let's lean on each other.
Yeah.
Let's pour into each other. Let's have a safe space privately that protects our clients from having to feel our struggles. You know?
It's true. I have an example from years and years ago, and I would never say who it was, but I used to go to a massage therapist, and I still get massages with somebody else now, but she spent the whole time talking about her struggles, and it was draining. And I'm like, listen, I love you, I care about you, but I'm here to relax.
100%. You know, I told my girls something that's catching on in Florida is they have the option. I spend a lot of time in Florida, silent appointment. And why do you think that came about? Because there's providers that are unloading on their clients.
Yes.
And it is all about the client. Okay, you want to tie it in. You want to say, oh yeah, me too. I've been there. It's beautiful. When I'm with my clients, I'm only talking about you.
Yeah.
And I think that's a way to make clients feel seen and heard. And so that's something, you know, I always bring awareness with my staff is like, we're here to talk about the clients, you know?
That's kind of selling 101 that
100%.
I think people kind of forget. So I think that's a good reminder.
And I know it's easy to fall. And like you want to show behind the scenes. For me, I'm like, I don't want to show you a video of 6 hours of what I had to sacrifice to create this Christmas set. I want you to come in and really get the experience of it.
Yeah.
So like that's just something I stand by, and I think it's something good to spread awareness about.
I think that's great. I love that you brought that up because I think it's something that people also just probably didn't even really think about.
No, it's an outlet. It's completely
Yeah.
innocent. I don't think they're purposely doing it. I just think
Yeah.
that I'm seeing it more and more, especially on TikTok. And it's frustrating for me as a business owner because I have those same frustrations, but never would I allow my clients to feel it, and never would I post it on there to make them feel my pain.
Yeah.
No.
Because it's not
for them to feel.
It's going to do the opposite of what you want it to do. It's not going to help your business.
No,
it's probably
not.
going to hurt it.
It's going to hurt it.
Yeah, because just because people say misery loves company, it doesn't.
It
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And you don't ever want to feel guilty for spending money and making them do something for you. And that's the atmosphere that it creates. It's like, it's so hard for me to keep this going. Now you come in and pay me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
It
it makes
robs
you-
the client of the
It
experience
does.
over and over and over. Even if they're like just consuming your content of doing it. Even if you're not doing it in the room, but you're posting content of shaming the client in any way, like, oh, you're doing this, and this wrong. Here's why this isn't turning out good. Like, I'm not into the
Yeah.
shaming the client, you know?
Yeah.
And that's trendy right now.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll come to an end soon.
Oh, yeah. I think it will.
I think it will.
Speaking of products,
Yes.
I think you mentioned products. You have products.
We do have
in
products.
the salon.
We do.
So not only does this incredible businesswoman have her own 2 beautiful studios, but she also sells her own self-tanning line.
Yes.
And it is... I mean, I prefer to go get a spray tan because I'm just
Me
bougie
too.
like that. But if you are in a crunch and don't have time, or you just need it more frequently, they have these amazing self tanning mousses and
Yes.
sprays, and they are really good products, and they're
Yes.
clean products.
Thank you. And they are batched here in the USA, and
Yeah.
they come from our headquarters in Georgia. So they're all good. They're all formulated to preserve the spray tan and extend it. And then we do have a lot of clients that we establish relationships with, and then they move, and then they don't have an alternative, or they're in a bind and they need something to do at home, and they want to keep supporting us, and that's a great way. And we're just excited for all the growth in the products. But yes, we have a full body care line, a full line of self tanners, so lotions, body scrubs, things to prep for your spray tan, and things to aftercare for them.
That's super impressive.
Yes,
You should
we
be
love
really
it.
proud that
I
you
know.
have created all of that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I want to tell a quick little story. The first time I met Ava was at our first Women on the Move conference, which has been almost 4 years ago now.
Crazy.
And I had never met her. She signed up to have a vendor booth, which I was like so thankful because like I had never done this event before. I'm like, wow, people believe in this. They're gonna
totally
come.
believed in it from the get-go.
And so we're there the day before the conference, getting everything set up. And I am a optimist to a fault. I really thought I could do these like hundreds of swag bags in a couple hours.
But you were, to be fair, you were getting it done. But yes.
I was getting it done, and my team was helping me get it done, but there was only a couple of us. And Ava is a literal angel. She came and saw us like struggling, and
I was
she's
like
like, "Can I help you guys?" And we're like, "Please help
Please.
us!" Like,
And then we
please.
got the assembly line going.
Yeah, and
You had your mom.
She was just a saint. She helped us for, I'm not joking, for like 3 or 4 hours. Ava helped us with these swag bags. I had never met this girl in my life. And I was
loved it.
just like, oh my
But
gosh.
something about you, which I'm sure people tell you all the time, is you feel familiar. And people share that with me a lot too. And I'm just kind of one of those people. If there's a need, you got to step up. You got to show up and step up for your people. But to be fair, like you did feel familiar, like I already knew you. So that was easy. That part was easy.
Well, ever since then, I have just like we've just kind of clicked.
Yes.
Yeah.
We stayed
And
in touch, always supported.
Yeah.
And I love it. And that's exactly what I mean. It's something so small. You know, you can meet someone, but then you can lean on them in different ways. So
Yeah.
it all comes around full circle. You become a client, you spread the word, then we connect this way. It's all about community and like making small. I was talking to my mom about this morning. The small choices, I had a freak out because I was in a rush and I stopped at Starbucks and I said, I'm going to go to my local coffee shop that is my neighbor next to Sunless Body in High Point every day. I'm not going to go to Starbucks, but I did. And I was so upset because those small decisions make such a big impact on our community.
Yeah.
And I know you're all about community, so you know that. So
Yeah.
if we all vow to do that, it can make a huge impact.
Absolutely. Yeah.
For sure.
I love that. And another story from when I did first meet you, something that really stuck with me that you were, when we were chatting while we were stuffing swag bags for 3 hours, is you talked about how many women you get to meet and deal with and love who come in talking bad about themselves
Constantly. And we have store rules. We always want to support our clients and their feelings, and we make sure, because the worst thing is when you say, I'm not feeling good about myself, I don't feel pretty, and someone says, shut up, you're pretty. How does that make someone feel seen? We're not dismissing people's feelings. You support them in their feelings in that moment, but you're also giving them something instantly that can bring their mood up. And you see, look, don't you feel better? Actually, I do.
Yeah.
So I'm huge about that. It's not that I say, don't talk like that in here. You're crazy. You're not fat. You're skinny. No, we really support them in their feelings. But yeah, it does motivate me to keep going, to build people's confidence, because I do hear the way people speak about themselves, and it's heartbreaking because if they could see themselves from the outside, it's so evident and so clear that they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And they come in and words have power, and I will speak life into them right there. It's an intimate service. They're naked, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm not like doing it like in a way of like, no, you're so crazy. I'm like, we all have those feelings. I really understand. But guess what? In 5 minutes, give me 5 minutes. You're going to feel so good after this spray tan.
Yeah.
And they do.
Oh, that's so special.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has to be something that you've probably evolved and learned more and more about over the years, as far as how, because it is hard. You said how people say like, oh, shut up, you're beautiful.
Yes.
Because I think as women too, sometimes you don't know what to say.
You don't know what to say. And I definitely do think that I've learned how to support people in their feelings.
Yeah.
I've always been an empathetic person. It comes naturally. It's like who I am. I can connect. I'm like a chameleon. I've just always been drawn to people and like making them feel better. And that's why this business was perfect for me, because, I always talk about with skincare or with other things, you have to wait for the result, right? You have to stay committed. But with a spray tan, I get to see you leave confidently, instantly in 20 minutes. How incredible is that? So I'm so fortunate and blessed, and I don't lose sight of like my gratitude for that,
Well, and with the Rapitan, you don't even have to wait.
You don't even have to wait 8 hours. You rinse in 3 hours and
I
you're
love
tan.
it. It's the best. I always tell. I usually see Natalie, which I freaking love her.
She's the
you
best.
have the best team.
Wow, I'm so blessed. I really,
really
mean,
are.
and that's another thing, staffing these businesses.
Yeah.
It's like you think about, it really takes the right personality, and not just anyone. This isn't like a European wax center where you can just like, have a skill set and really you don't need to talk. Like, it is so intimate. It is so serious. And there is a certain personality type that is fit to be a spray tan technician.
Yeah.
100%. And you see that with Natalie. She's just got an inviting way about her, natural, easy. I love her. She's
Yeah.
great. I love all of my team members.
She's the best. You've done a great job building a team.
Thank you.
It's
all new to me.
Yeah. Well, what would be a tip that you would give to other business owners as they're like trying to build teams? Like when you're looking for people, what do you look for? What do you not look for?
Gosh, it's like I'm still learning, and like that's one thing I write in my journal every morning is that I want to learn to be a strong leader. Naturally, I kind of have this aura about me. I always have. I've always been bossy. I've always been decisive. But like I'm trying to tailor my expectations and learn that the employees cannot anticipate your needs. You need to let it be known. So if my advice would be like, I hear a lot of other business owners, they're frustrated because they expect someone just to know and just to anticipate. How do they know if you're, and I've had to tell myself that.
Yeah.
I need to tell them. I need to communicate. Yeah, you could spend time with me, and like, some people might catch on how you want things, but I think clear communication, and that's what people talk about all the time. You cannot expect someone just to come in and anticipate your needs.
Yeah, well, because other people are not you.
Yeah, they're not you. And like, you
Yeah.
might be having a million things on your brain, and you're like, oh, don't they know that I just want it this way? No,
Yeah.
they don't.
Oh my gosh, that's great relationship advice too.
Oh yeah, it's both. Yeah, it goes for both. Your employees and your boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like that. I kind of think that people, And I think that comes from me being able to anticipate other people's needs. I swear I could spend one day in here with you operationally, and you could say, Ava, I want things, we run it like this. This is how our business is structured. And I promise you wouldn't have to have another conversation with me. But that's me. And not everyone is wired that way.
Yeah.
So I've really started to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you for kind of like acknowledging how you are and how other people may or may not be, because it's a learning process.
And I tell them all the time, thank you for staying with me. You know, when Natalie started with me, we were in a 700 square foot studio inside of a private athletic club. She has been so loyal and good to me. But with that, now that I have a team of 6 and 8 growing, I've been able to learn so much.
Yeah.
You know? I'm still learning right now actively.
Oh,
Always.
absolutely.
Never going to stop.
Guest before you was talking about one of his favorite quotes is, if you're not growing, you're dying.
It's a fact.
And I think that's so true.
It's a fact.
Couldn't agree more.
And the only other advice I would have that I'm really stepping into is, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. Mm-hmm. And so I have remind myself of that every day, because I'll have something in mind. I want to ask for it, but for some reason there's something in the back of my mind saying, no, don't ask for that. But if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
That's so true.
Ask for it.
Yeah.
Who cares? The answer is no. Ask.
Yeah. So Ava, where do you see the future of Sunless Body next, I don't know, let's say 5 years from now?
We definitely want to expand in the Carolinas. I'm a North Carolina native. I have spent time in, like I said, Florida, other places. There's a different feel and culture here, and people might say, like, North Carolina's behind or like this, but I really want to, like, you know, root us here in the Carolinas, and I just want to continue to grow. I don't know if that means more locations. I don't know if that means expansion with the product line, but I think right now we've structured these 2 brick and mortar stores to kind of be flagship, and we've had franchise offers. What really separates us is that we don't want a franchise experience. So I'm in this weird place of, we have these offers. People want a franchise, but am I ready to let go and lose the experience, the boutique experience that we're creating for clients? I don't know that I am.
Yeah.
So expansion in the Carolinas, but I don't know that franchising is in our future right now.
Yeah. So that brings me to one of my last questions. What does a day in the life of Ava look like? Like, how in the world do you manage 2 locations? I feel like you also travel a lot. You're doing further education. Like, how in the world do you do it all?
As you can expect. I always tell people, I'm really working this year on grounding myself and staying in the moment, because I will literally be in this chair, but I'm like mentally, I'm down the road running to the next thing. So really trying to stay present. I think we're all working on that. Trying to not let social media create like a sense that you're not doing enough, because I also feel like people are struggling with that. So a day in my life is I go to each location every day and talking to my team, and then also doing the behind the scene things, which you're doing a million times. So there's so many layers to it, and it's fun. And usually my new thing is that I'm posted up at Panera. I'm posted up at Panera from 7 a.m. to 5 as my work office. I have an office. I could go to it, but it is too hard not to get involved with what's going on in your store. So Panera's a corporate feel. They don't care about me. They don't care what I'm doing. I put my headphones on and I stay there and grind it out.
I love that.
So most of my days have been at Panera lately.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's so true. I'm sure you get asked a million questions if you're in one of the stores.
And I start getting sidetracked, like ripping the drawers, doing unnecessary, kind of like distracted. I start getting involved with the sales. Come on, my girls know what they're doing. I don't need to be there.
But it's still, important for you to still,
I like
show
to
face.
be there every day.
Yeah.
I want to step foot in our buildings every day that I can, that allows. And if it can't, there is a sense of guilt. If I can't get there, they're like, we're good. And I'm like,
but no,
they don't even need me for anything. But I feel like I need to get there, and I need to step in.
I think that makes for a good business owner. Like I feel the same way. Like I like to be involved with every aspect of the magazines. Like I do a few deliveries. Like I don't do all of them, obviously.
It's evident.
But I do a little bit. I have my hand in a little bit of everything, so that I don't, no part of the business is too good for me to be a part of.
For sure.
Or I'm not too good to be a part of. You know what I mean? Too good to be a part of any part of the business.
100%. The hardest thing in the last. So for me to grow to this point, I had a serious epiphany that I have to stop taking clients, and that was brutal for me. I've been spray tanning for 13 years. We were all working together.
Yeah.
There was no way I could have opened the second store if I was still in the business in that capacity. And I was also going to fail my team that I was growing because on the back end, it takes so much to push the clients through the door.
Yeah.
So if I'm neglecting that to be in there taking clients, I'm not serving them the way that I need to. And that was brutal for me. I cried for days. It was like now people used to call the first couple months and request me, but now I come in, they're like, who are you? I'm like, exactly. They don't want me to spray tan them anyway.
I mean, we love you, but your team is great.
Of course. That means so much. And I always tell people they're an extension of me. They were trained by me and I have all the confidence in them. But that was hard. So I get what you're saying. Like there's no area of the business that is too much for you to do.
Yeah. I love that.
Yes.
Well, Ava, I could talk with you for hours.
We do sometimes.
And we will have, exactly. We will have you back on for part 2.
This was so
for
fun.
Sure.
Thank you for having
so
me.
much.
It was incredible.
And before you go, how do we find Sunless Body online and on Instagram?
www.sunlessbody.com, and on Instagram you can find us at Sunless Body Studios.
Okay, and you can book appointments
on
Instagram, online,
shop online, message us with questions. We've got a live chat. We always have someone available to answer questions. We have a frequently asked questions sectionnaire. Call us, stop in. We're in High Point and Winston-Salem.
Yeah, so in Winston-Salem, in case you haven't been yet, you need to just go see it if you haven't been.
Stop in. Just come say hey.
But it's in the Tower Shopping Center right across from Thruway.
Exactly.
Great location, easy to find.
Exactly.
And in High Point, I'm not familiar with High Point.
On Eastchester, so right off of Wendover.
Awesome.
But yeah, we're right beside Village Juice and Pure Bar, and people always just stop in, come see it. We like to tour. We do tours all day.
I love it.
So come in. Thank you.
Well,
Brooke.
give them a follow. Go get a spray tan if you haven't yet. And that is a wrap for today. Thanks, Ava.
Thank you so much.
The views and opinions stated on this podcast are solely those of the contributors and not necessarily those of our distributors or hosting companies. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced without expressed written consent of Forsyth Magazines Incorporated. Whew, that's a mouthful.